Hello, everyone. I am back here again in my own personal space instead of the prop and costume closet. Circumstances made it to where I couldn't go in yet again, so back here. Oop, don't need that one little bit of hair sticking up. Okay, love it. So, I know last week I said I was running out of things to tutorial, but go figure, I thought of another thing. So, today we are going to be talking about channeling magic. So this was a fun one. We kind of set that up as purposefully vague, and at times I feel like it confuses people because it's so vague, and they're not used to having the capacity to do it in a game, so they kind of forget it's there. They just kind of brush off there's another rule there. But it really is a powerful tool, and one that I think we've managed to have a lot of fun with, and if you have the right narrator, and you are able to make up stuff on the spot really well, I think it is really a great tool to use. So, at its basic, what it is you are able to take 2 points of mana, or 2-point increments, I should say, and you can use your magic. Like, every person has magic. We've covered this many times. And you can push that magic into something. So, let's take a nearby object. My glasses. If I were to push magic into these, something will happen. If nothing else, they might just glow slightly from there being magic in them. But what it's really meant to do is to allow for more narrative tools to come into play. If you have a mysterious object, allow someone to push magic into it and let them see what they can find. If it inherently has magical properties, it's not that hard to say, okay, let's say these glasses were enchanted with time magic and would let me see into the future. Maybe that's the magic of these items. Someone will channel some magic into it, and you're like, okay, you feel a slight sense of deja vu, as if you've seen something before, kind of hinting at the time aspect of it. And very much a visual aspect that would tie back to it. If they push a lot of magic, you might start actually clearly spelling it out for them. Something along the lines of, you see a quick flash of your companions, and you see where their hands wave and how their bodies move. And as you watch, about 3 seconds later, they start to move. Giving them a very clear idea that, okay, through this item, you can see a little bit into the future, give them an idea about how the item works. Now, you can also use it not just for discovery purposes, but in terms of making something happen. Like, any object really can react to magic, but there are some that work better for it. One of our examples is, let's say you have a stick, and you channel a bunch of magic into the stick. The stick is not inherently magical. There's not much special about it. However, it might sprout some leaves. Or let's say you take a rock, just a common piece of rock, and you channel a bunch of magic into that. Maybe you would say, oh yeah, the minerals in the rock sparkle as if they were polished or something like that. It's not always a tool that has to have something happen, but if enough magic's getting shoved, it should react in a way. So in this way, players can use it in discovering things around them, getting an idea of their nature, or perhaps, if they are clever about it, using it to activate things in certain ways. Like, let's take the branch and the leaves, for example. Let's say they take a branch from a tree that has oil on the leaves that are good for healing. So they go, okay, I'm just keep this stick around, and I'm going to channel 20 magic into it to have it regrow its leaves, and now I have easy access to herbs, a plant that would be good for healing, and stuff like that. Now, I've also seen the channeling magic get used in weird ways that we didn't intend, and a lot of that comes down to, will the narrator allow it? The basic idea really is that you are pushing your magic into an object, and how that object reacts kind of depends on the storyline and what you're doing with it. So some of the fun ones I've seen, we had someone actually tie their skill, their perception, into the channeling of the magic, and they used the combination of their experience in the wilderness, their perception check, and channeling a whole bunch of magic into the earth to let them find a safe space that they could hide out in and that they could be defensively in. The narrator allowed that, and it was a really cool use of the channeling of the magic. Another fun one I saw was someone was using time magic specifically, and they did not have a particular spell for what they wanted to do, which was to melt some giant icebergs. So they basically said, I'm going to pump 50 magic through the boat, through the water, to these icebergs, and I'm going to cause them to go forward in time to where they are melted. And I was actually narrating that one. And I said, yeah, that sounds like a really interesting and fun use of how your time magic works and channeling to do that. So it was just a very simple push this lifespan forward on this thing. And I was like, okay, cool. I like it. It's fun. So channeling magic really does give you a lot of options. It is something that is kind of the I don't have a specific thing I'm trying, or I don't quite know what to do, so let's channel some magic and see if anything happens. A lot of the reason we came up with this is because Sean Drudlocks, the creator of the game, when we were playing in a different system, he was playing a druid, and he kept wanting to do things like, I go up to the tree and I channel my magic into it. A system didn't exist for that, and I, as a narrator in that system, kind of had to go, well, okay, let's let some stuff happen. This allows you to go, okay, I am a fire mage. I might just push fire energy into a fire because I appreciate it flaring up, or I might be able to access some different properties. Or as a druid, someone who is very in line with nature, I might just want to push energy into random trees and bushes and plants just to help them grow. And this is all just storyline stuff that doesn't necessarily need anything to connect to it, but has fun potential. A few more ideas about how maybe channeling energy could be used. Remember, any character can channel energy. Those who have magical schools can channel specific types of energy because they're familiar with it. So any of the elemental types would be able to push water, or push fire, or push earth, or air. Time mages can push time magic and kind of shape it. And story. It always comes back to the story. Does it work within the context we're working in? But while mages can push specific magic, individuals like, let's say, your warrior, who does not carry any spells, does not access magic. I mean, they can, but didn't. They just want to push some energy into something that is still perfectly viable. It is more of a raw, unrefined type of energy and might react differently. Like if a time mage pushes time magic into an apple, but a warrior pushes their general energy into an apple, you may see different effects. But it will end up coming out into something will happen. Now, like I said, you might be able to use this in ways like designing a puzzle. Maybe they have to push energy in a specific way or specific amounts, and that moves a mechanism or causes something to react. And maybe they have to work together to channel different amounts at different times. So that lets them have a little bit of interaction that way. Like I said, it's really easy to drop in mysterious items that if they pump some magic in will give hints to their origin. I could actually see a lot of fun with maybe a soul being trapped in an item, and as they push magic into it, they get flashes of the soul's history and what led up to them being trapped in there. Maybe actually letting them communicate with the soul trapped inside the item. Heck, if you had a really devious mind and you wanted to really go maybe down a darker route with your character, I could see someone training themselves in how to do hand-to-hand fighting, and during a grapple, push a bunch of magic into an enemy, and maybe cause them to become mana-frayed or even mana-torn, Like I said, a bit of a darker concept, but as something as a narrator that I'd go, oh, that's interesting. That is something that I want to play with. So really, it is sort of a wild card, a free card that kind of lets you play around with magic without having to necessarily spell work or use magic items. Like I said, Rupture is so much about magic is flooded through this world, mysterious things are happening, and it is just unique. It is so much potential and so much storyline depending on the creativity of the players and what the narrator allows. And I really do say, let it happen. Let things flow, and experiment with it. See where you want to take it. It is very much a system that we left fairly open so that it could be played with, that you can use it in unique and weird ways. So that is my thoughts and kind of tutorial-ish on that system. Thank you for watching. I appreciate every time I get to do one of these tutorials and kind of talk about going a little bit deeper than what the book necessarily allows me to do. So, as usual, I will throw up the links over there. And yeah, have a great day, everyone, and enjoy the world of Rupture.